The USA is a land of skyscrapers, Hollywood blockbusters, and tech giants. But few know this nation kept its nuclear arsenal for 15 years under code 000000000. Yes, 8 zeros. That code opened access to Minuteman intercontinental missiles. The military used this simple code. They feared a complex password would hinder a fast launch during an attack. In 1961, a B-52 bomber broke apart over North Carolina. It carried 2 hydrogen bombs. One fell by parachute and nearly fully activated. All safety mechanisms worked except the last one. Just one switch saved the state from a 3.8 megaton blast. Today, part of that bomb still lies deep in the marshy ground. This is real nuclear safety. Not a movie's red button, but 8 zeros on a panel and a swamp with a bomb. Beneath Yellowstone Park in the USA sleeps one of the planet's largest volcanoes. Its past eruptions covered half a continent in ash. The last massive eruption occurred about 640,000 years ago. Scientists do not rule out its future awakening. If it erupts, ash will cover the entire country. Air travel would cease, and crops would be destroyed. This would cause global cooling for years. Experts reassure us the chance of this in coming centuries is very low. More often, minor activity occurs in the park. Geysers spew hot water, and mud pots bubble. The ground slightly rises and falls. Sensors, seismographs, and a team of volcanologists monitor all this constantly. Yellowstone is more than just a beautiful national park with wildlife. It is the most observed place on Earth. Every geyser's puff is recorded on charts. The United States is the only developed country without guaranteed paid maternity leave. Federal law grants new mothers only 12 weeks of unpaid leave, and not to everyone. Many American women return to work just a month or 2 after childbirth. They do this because their families would otherwise face financial hardship. It all depends on the employer and state laws. Some are lucky with good terms and pay, while others get nothing at all. Families often take out loans for infant care or seek additional jobs. For Europeans, this is a real shock. A country launching rockets and developing AI still struggles with basic parental aid. This issue comes up in every election. But changes are happening very slowly. In the US, the 3 wealthiest people own as much as the poorest half of the population. This contrast is evident everywhere. At the top are private space flights, football club purchases, and yachts the size of small towns. At the bottom are decades-long student loans, 2 or 3 jobs at once, and counting every dollar for gas. This surprises foreigners more than burgers and hot dogs. One country has tech hubs with billionaires. Entire districts have schools open only 4 days a week due to a lack of money. One person thinks about flying to Mars, another about making it to payday. Both realities exist simultaneously under one flag. The US is not one economy, but dozens of different worlds. Some US states still permit child marriage. This requires parental or court consent. Hundreds of thousands of such unions formed in the last 2 decades. No federal ban exists. Each state has its own rules. Some set a minimum age of 16. Others have almost no age limit. Laws change only after press scandals. Activists demand a simple rule: marriage only at 18, with no exceptions. For many foreigners, this sounds like centuries ago. Yet, in the US system, families, courts, and state authorities can still decide differently. This is the shocking detail. A modern country on one side, and archaic laws on the other. New York State has a small waterfall. A real fire burns behind its streams. This is not magic. Natural gas escapes from rock cracks. It constantly burns beneath the water streams. Sometimes the flame goes out from wind or spray. Then tourists simply light it again. Scientists explain this with geology. Gas comes from ancient shale at a low temperature. Yet, it is enough to maintain a steady flame. Stand nearby, and the water roars. It pours down like a curtain. Behind it, a lively flame flickers. Your mind refuses to grasp it. Water should put out fire. But here, everything is the opposite. At first glance, it seems like a trick. Actually, it's a rare rock combination. It has become a local attraction. American fairs are famous for their deep-fried food cult. They deep-fry ice cream, chocolate bars, and even a stick of butter. It's dipped in batter, fried, then heavily drizzled with syrup. One bite equals half your daily calories. This is not everyday food. It's a show for wow and social media photos. The dish was a trick, both shocking and fun. The Q is for the curious, not gourmets. They want to try it and get a pic. The host joyfully calls it the fair's most American snack. Foreigners cringe, sharing one portion among four, yet they still smile. Sometimes childhood taste and madness overcome common sense. Prairie oysters appeared on American West ranches. It's a misleading name. They are not seafood. These are deep-fried bull testicles, served sliced with spicy sauce and fries. Foreigners usually guess what they eat, noticing a waiter's smirk or jokes at other tables. Locals treat the dish seriously. Historically, the Wild West used every part of an animal. The taste is a mix of chicken and calamari. The consistency is soft. The first shock passes by the second bite. This is no cowboy joke. It is a true part of prairie culture. Nothing was wasted. Every part of the catch was respected. In the U.S., tips are not just thanks for good service. They are part of official wages. Waiters might earn only $2 to $3 per hour. Without generous tips, they go home with almost nothing. This leads to waiters chasing tourists outside. Tense talks happen at the register. Payment screens show 15%, 18%, or 20% buttons. Declining seems rude, yet the customer has paid for food. They do not see themselves as an employer. This system grew from laws. It has become a habit. Debates about it continue. But no one can change this model. Service relies on voluntary percentages of the bill. It's simpler to accept the rules. The United States and Great Britain once almost went to war over a pig. On disputed islands between the US and Canada, an American farmer shot a British piglet. It had wandered onto his property. Escalation began. Warships approached the shores. Soldiers took positions and waited for orders to fire. Fortunately, diplomats calmed tensions. The pig remained the only casualty. Today, historical plaques stand on the islands. They feature piglet silhouettes. These remind us how easily great powers can slide into conflict over trivial matters. They also show how important it is to use common sense in time. These are 10 facts about the USA. If you learn something new, like and subscribe. Don't miss the next episode about another interesting country. Goodbye.